Hi, welcome back to a new episode of the Guns Book Club in the World. Book Club, yay! And today, guys, I'm extremely exciting to be on because after a long time, let's see, it's almost 3 months. This is the episode that's supposed to be on. Why didn't change it? Or it's Thursday on 19th of May. Today it's 28th of August. A lot of things that's been going on. Exams and everything. We'll talk about it in a later episode because they are really short on time. Anyway, guys, I'm really excited to be here again. This is going to be really short episode. I have 20 minutes to do it, so let's go. And guys, as you know, we got entertaining to everything, the background, the books, everything in the description below, so make sure to check them out and enjoy them. And let's go. So, move to the book. Influence, the power of persuasion by Robert B. Cialdini. Made by your boy AK, the one and only your boy AK. Let's go. Page 146, 156 in the PDF, the 159. If politicians if politicians are native newcomers to the use of celebrity endorsement, they are ordens to exploiting the association principle in other ways. For example, congressional representatives traditionally announce the start of federal projects that will bring new jobs or benefits to their home states. This is true when a representative has nothing to do with advancing the project, or as in some cases, vote against it. While politicians have long stained to associate themselves with the values of motherhood, culture, and the apple pie, it might be in the list of those connections to food that they have been most clever. For instance, it is a White House tradition to try to sway the votes of blocking legislators over email. It can be a picnic lunch, sumptuous breakfast, or an elegant dinner. But when an important bill is up for grabs, out comes the silverware. Political fundraising those days regularly involves the presentation of food. Notice too that is a typical fundraising dinner. The speeches, the appeals for frozen contributions, and I tell them therefore they never come before the meal is served. Only during or after. The advantages to this pairing of the fairs of the table with those of the state are several. For example, time is saved and the reciprocity rule is engaged. The least recognized benefit, however, might be the one uncovered in a research conducted in the 1930s by the distinguished psychologist Gregory Razran. Using what he termed the Lansky technique, he found that these subjects became fonder of the people and the things they experienced while they were eating. In the example most relevant for our purposes, Razran subjects were represented with some political statements they iterated once before. At the end of the experiment, after all the political statements had been presented, Razran found that only certain of them had gained in approval. Those that had been shown while the food was being eaten, and those changes in acting seems to have founded unconsciously, since the subjects could not remember which of the statements they had seen during the food service. How did Razran come up with the luncheon technique? What made him think it would work? The answer may lie in the dual scholarly roles he played during his career. Not only was he a respected independent researcher, he was also one of the earliest translators to English of the pioneering psychological literature of Russia. It was a literature dedicated to the study of the association principle and dominated by the thinking of a brilliant man, Ivan Pavlov. Although a scientist of varied and elaborated talent, he had, for instance, won a Nobel Prize years earlier for his work on the digestive system. Pavlov's most important experimental demonstration was simplicity itself. He showed that he could get an animal's typical response to food, salivation, to be directed towards something irrelevant to food, a bell, merely by connecting the two things in the animal's mind. If the presentation of food to a dog was always accompanied by the sound of a bell, soon the dog would salivate to the bell alone, even when there was no food to be had. It is not a long step from Pavlov's classic demonstration to Razran luncheon technique. Obviously, a normal reaction to food can be transferred to some other things through the process of raw association. Razran's insight was that there are many normal responses to food besides salivation. One of them being a good and favorable feeling. Therefore, it is possible to attach this pleasant feeling, this positive attitude, to anything, political statements being only an example, that is closely associated with good food. Nor is there a long step from the luncheon technique to the compliance professionals' realization that all kinds of desirable things can substitute for food, enhancing their likable qualities to the ideas, products, and people artificially linked to them. In the final analysis, then, that is why those food-looking models are standing around in the magazine ads. And that is why radio programmers are instructed to insert the station's call letters jingle immediately before a big hit song is played. And that is even why the woman playing Barney and Bingo as a Tupperware party must yell the word Tupperware rather than Bingo before they can rush to the center of the floor for a prize. It might be Tupperware for the woman, but it's Bingo for the company. Just because we are often the unaware victims of compliance practitioners use of the association principle doesn't mean that we don't understand how it works or don't use it ourselves. There is ample evidence, for instance, that we understand fully the predicament of a Persian imperial messenger or modern day buzzerman announcing bad news. In fact, we can be content on to take steps to avoid putting ourselves in any similar positions. Research done at the University of Georgia, shows just how we operate when faced with the task of communicating good or bad news. Students waiting for an experiment to begin were given the job of informing a fellow student that an important phone call had come in for him. Half the time, the call was supposed to bring good news, and half the time, bad news. The researchers found that the students conveyed the information very differently, depending on its quality. When the news was positive, the tellers were sure to mention that feature. You just got a phone call with great news. We don't see the experimental for the details. But when the news was unfavorable, they kept themselves apart from it. You just got a phone call. We don't see the experiment for the details. Obviously, the students had previously learned that to be liked, they should connect themselves to good news, but not bad news. A lot of strange behavior can be explained by the fact that people understand the association principle well enough to strive to link themselves to positive events and separate themselves from negative events, even when they have not caused the events. Some of the strangest of such behavior takes place in the great arena of sports. The actions of the athletes are not the issue here, though. After all, in the heated conflict of the game, they are entitled to an occasional eccentric outburst. Instead, it is often raging, irrational, boundless fervor of the sports fan that seems on its face to so puzzling. How can we account for wild sports riots in Europe or the murder of players and referees by South American soccer crowds gone berserk, or the unnecessary lavishness of the gifts provided by local fans to already wealthy American ball players, or the special days set aside to honor them? Rationally, none of this makes sense. It's just a game. Isn't it? Hardly. The relationship between sport and the earnest fun is anything but game-like. It is serious, intense, and daily personal. An apt illustration comes from one of my favorite anecdotes. It concerns a World War II soldier who returned to his home in the Balkans after the war, and shortly thereafter stopped speaking. Medical examinations will find no physical cause for the problem. There were no wound, no brain damage, no vocal impairment. He could read, write, understand the conversation, and follow orders. Yet he would not talk, not for his doctors, not for his friends, not even for his pleading family. Perplexed and exasperated, his doctors moved him to another city and placed him in a veterans hospital where he remained for 30 years, never breaking his self-imposed silence and sinking into a life of social isolation. Then, one day, a radio in his ward happened to be tuned to a soccer match between his hometown team and the traditional rival. When at a crucial point of play, the referee called a foul against a player from the men's home team. The mute veteran jumped from his chair, glared at the radio, and spoke his first words in more than 30 decades. You dumb man, he cried. Are you trying to give them the match? With that, he returned to his chair and to a silence he never again violated. There are two important lessons to be derived from this true story. The first concerns the sheer power of the phenomenon. The veteran's desire to have his hometown team succeed was so strong that it alone produced a deviation from his solidity entrenched were five. Similar effects of sports events on the long-standing habits of fans are far from unique to be backwards of veterans hospitals. During the 1980s, Winter Olympics, after the US hockey team upset the vastly favored Soviet team, the teetotaling father of the American goaltender, Jim Craig, was offered a flask. I've never had a drink in my life, he reported later, but someone behind me handed me a cognac. I drank it. Yes, I did. Nor was such unusual behavior unique to parents of the players. Fans outside the hockey arena were described in news accounts as delirious. They yagged, sang, and turned some summer salts in the snow. Even those fans not present at Lake Placed, placid exulted in the victory and displayed their pride with bizarre behavior. In real life, North Carolina, as we meet had to be entered when, after the hockey score was announced, the competitors and the audience chanted USA, USA, until the was HOARSE. In Cambridge, Massachusetts, a quiet supermarket erupted as the news into a riot of flying toilet tissues and paper towel streamers. The customers were joined in the spree, and soon led by the market employees and the manager. Without question, the force is deep and sweeping. But if we return to the account of the silent veteran, we can see that something else is revealed about the nature of the union of sports and the sports fan. Something crucial to its basic character. It is a personal thing. Whatever a fragment of an identity that reversed, mute man still possessed was engaged by a soccer play. No matter how weakened his ego might have become after 30 years of borderless stagnation in a hospital board, it was involved in the outcome of the match. Why? Because he personally would be diminished by a hometown defeat. How? Through the principle of association. The mere connection of a birthplace hook team wrapped him, tied him to the approaching triumph or failure. As distinguished author Isaac Asimov put it in describing our reactions to the contest with you. All things being equal, you root for your own sex, your own culture, your own locality. And what you want to prove is that you are better than the other person. Whomever you root for represents you. And when he wins, you win. And when he wins, you win. When viewed in this light, the passion of the sports fan begins to make sense. The game is no light diversion to be enjoyed for its inherent form and artistry. The self is a stake, as the self is at stake. That is why hometown crowds are so adoring and, more tellingly, so grateful towards those regularly responsible for home team victories. That is also why the same crowds are often fractious in the treatment of players, coaches, and officials implicated in athletic failures. Fans intolerance of defeat can shorten the careers of even successful players and coaches. Take the case of Frank Leyden, who abruptly quite as coach of the NBA's Utah Jazz while the team was leading the league's Midwest Division. Leyden relative success, warm humor, and widely known charitable activities in the Salt Lake City area were not enough to shield him from the ire of some Jazz supporters after team losses. Hitting a brace of incidents with abusive fans, including one in which people waited around for an hour to curse a team following a defeat. Leyden explained this decision. Sometimes in the NBA, you feel like a dog. I've had people spit on me. I had a guy come up to me and say, I'm a lawyer, eat me, so I can sue you. I think America takes all sports too seriously. Guys, guess what? This is the end of the episode. So guys, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate the fact that you stuff and I can't wait to see you on tomorrow's episode. I got to put in the board I can do that. But until then, enjoy the party time. And see you guys tomorrow. Bye.